Well, a very good day to you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Candy Talk here on Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. Such a pleasure to have you on board on Kenya's most comprehensive political and public governance analysis show. I'm here once again with my resident guest, Wakili Willis Otieno. Wakili, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Let's begin from Quarry area. Of course, that kind of unfortunate event there, in all those bodies being retrieved from that particular area. The president is saying that the security agencies are doing all they can to make sure that the perpetrators of such acts are brought to book. Here we are. The DCI have actually announced that a suspect has confessed to being responsible for all those deaths therein. But then people are not taking kindly, and they've decided not to buy the kind of information that is coming from our security agencies. They're saying here, look, Rita Waini was killed 7 months ago. The killer was seen directly, of course, on CCTV cameras, but has not been brought to book up to now. So what are you telling us? And they are saying that perhaps maybe some people are trying to play games with the lives of Kenyans here. What do you make of the current scenario?
The first thing that I need to point out is this. The very fact that many Kenyans died, and they were damned, they were killed, not died, they were killed, and dumped right behind a police station, should tell you that there are people higher up who are complicit. And it's a demonstration of the failure of the system, that you can just have that many number of Kenyans killed, dismembered, and dumped right behind a police station. Then the system is broken. That is why Kenyans are saying Ruto must go. And all of a sudden, they are parading to us a supposed confessor of the heinous crimes.
They're saying this is a serial killer who's been here since 2012.
No. So where was the system to arrest him before? You're waiting for Kenyans to unearth these killings before you arrest him. Yeah, because if indeed the system was working, how many more did he have to kill? He couldn't have gone, he shouldn't have gone past killing one person. So are they trying to placate the people of Kenya? I believe there are only three plausible explanations to this thing. Number one, either these are people who were killed during Mandamano, and people in the security setup are aware those bodies were never meant to be found. But the lady who led her family to where she is pointed to to a bigger thing by exposing when the family went to Quarry and found the body. So I believe it's either Mandamano. Number two, maybe somebody is doing ritual killings. Somebody grabbed our young women or our young people to kill them, to perform a ritual. My only question is that ritual related to somebody trying to hold himself into power? That's a plausible angle we should consider. And number three is that we have killers on the loose in this country, and our institutions responsible for maintaining law and order have failed.
Okay.
How comes all these three angles have not been pursued? They've gone for the easy one, including parading to us a serial killer who is now confessing. Have they pursued the second angle that I'm saying? Is somebody doing ritual killings here? And offering sacrifices? Have they explored that possibility?
Okay.
Have they asked the family of the lady who said they received a dream? When was the lady disappear? What else was in that dream? Have they considered the Mandamano connect? These were Mandamano, people were killed and they were being dumped. They have been forced to disappear. And this is just one quarry we're talking about. How many quarries do we have that are abandoned in this country? And have we gone further to look into them? Look at how Denzel, my friend, was killed. Also dumped in a quarry. And which people ordinarily commit this kind of deaths or killings? The other time we had Raila. Now it's quarries. Which people? In law, we say there's something called similar fact evidence. Based on your past conduct, we can ask ourselves these questions.
Okay.
And I'm persuaded that this type of killings will involve somebody with a security background. So there must be some rotten eggs within the security sector. I'm not going to say policemen, all policemen, no. Within the police service, there are very many hardworking Kenyans who are going over and beyond to defend the rule of law and to protect and to maintain law and order. But there are also people who are within the service, who are rotten to the core, who are used by politicians to pursue a particular narrative. But also, because we are this commando unit, not even commando unit, this rogue unit that was moving around during the protests in faces covered in a double cabin. Some of them were shooting directly at people. What the police should be telling us, start with that one. Yeah, start with that one. All the 41 plus people who died in the demonstrations, all of them, 41 plus, all of them died in the hands of policemen or people who are within the police force. Why don't you start? That's a low-lying fruit. Start with that one. Before you parade to us as a supposed serial killer.
When you say 41, the president would disagree.
No. You know, the facts are stubborn. You are entitled to your opinion, but not your own facts. The Kenya National Commission of Human Rights has issued their statements. Haki Africa has issued their statements. The numbers are there. We've done the tabulations. The victims are there. That's why I said 41 plus. Those ones we can point to you. This. Their names, their age, their family, where the ones who've been buried have been buried. The ones who are still in mortuaries, where they are. That is a fact, and we cannot argue over that. Ruto must accept that fact. 41 plus, the ones we know that we can account for, that this one was killed, this is a postmortem police bullet. This one was killed, dumped in a quarry, abducted by policemen. Start with those ones. Give them justice. But fine, you said you found a confessed serial killer for the 11 women. What about the 41? Do we ignore them? Go for the person who killed this 41. And these ones are the easiest to capture. Because we know where they were killed. We know the commanders who are in charge of the operations. They are known. We know Kome was the IG. We know Bungei was the Nairobi regional commandant. Charge them under the command responsibility.
Here we are. This actually raises a lot of eyebrows on the kind of security system that we have in this country, because it is the duty of the government to protect the lives of Kenyans at whatever cost. But here we are. Kenyans have lost their lives, and the Inspector General, the former Inspector General of Police, Japhet Koome, of course, has resigned already. I wonder whether he resigned or he was fired. But then he is no longer in the picture. Adamson Bungei, the Nairobi regional commander, is still on board here. Who bears the biggest burden here? Who should actually be answerable to the people and make sure that...
The buck stops with the president. The person who bears the greatest responsibility is William Ruto. And these things fall squarely on his doorstep. Ask yourself even this question. Who stood to benefit most from suppressing the protests? In whose political interest didn't they want people to demonstrate? That person bears the greatest responsibility for these deaths. That is William Ruto. But we go further. Who had the command of the police units that caused this death? In respect to the national picture, it's Bungei. Sorry, it's Koome. Even if he has resigned, there is no limitation of action for crime. Koome bears the greatest responsibility under the command responsibility principle. The person who was responsible for the units in Nairobi, who had command of the unit, was Bungei. Even him, he belongs to jail. Then we go further to any other part of the country where we lost lives. In Siaya, in Makueni, in Nakuru, in Mombasa. The officers that had command over the units that were deployed should also and must also get to court. And they need to be charged under the International Criminal Act as persons who had the command of a police unit that killed innocent civilians who are merely exercising their right to demonstrate and to picket.
Basically, here we are. Of course, the president is saying that one of the reasons as to why he decided to dissolve his cabinet is the so-called incompetence, that which has been accused of I mean, a number of cabinet secretaries have been accused, the former ones here. And then in this kind of, so this happens, and it's like the system is falling apart. The security system is somehow kind of weak, quote unquote. And the president is about to form another cabinet. And he's asking Kenyans to pray for him so that he brings in a good team, people who can actually work, people who are competent enough, and who can perhaps assist him to deliver on the promises that he gave to Kenya, so that we do not witness the kind of things that we're witnessing right now. What do you have to say about that?
But the chairman of that cabinet was William Ruto. I mean, if your chairman has failed, why are you blaming the players?
Okay.
If a team loses, is on a losing streak, who is fired first, the players or the coach? You fire the coach,
Okay.
or the captain. Ruto is the coach. He's the one who was presiding over that cabinet. Whatever this cabinet member, former cabinet members did, was to implement the decision of meetings that Ruto used to sit over and superintend. Didn't he stand up every day for the last 18 months telling us, cabinet has decided, cabinet has decided? He owned whatever they were doing. He was part of it. There is no day Ruto ever stood up and said, these are my ministers are not performing. I have a problem with them. Kenyan people are suffering. You are unable. Did he ever fire any of them? Did he ever reprimand any of them? Nothing.
Did you agree that they were not performing?
But I gave them a deep minus here.
Yeah, and
plus
we had
Ruto.
this conversation with you.
Yes, and I say they never performed. And I'm talking of the cabinet, which includes William Ruto, Rigathi Gachagua, and those others who've gone home.
So won't you then support the president's plea to bring
Why are
in
you
people
splitting hairs, Okinyi? Why are you splitting hairs? I said the cabinet has failed. Look at the constitution composition of the cabinet. President, deputy, and the members. So why are you trying to make me to say it's the other members who failed and these two didn't fail?
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't make sense. They were all one unit. You cannot say that this unit worked and this one didn't work. No. The cabinet failed. I gave them a D- last year.
Okay.
Now I can even give them an E. So you cannot say that the problem is the cabinet members and not the cabinet. I mean, be serious. It's either the cabinet has failed or individual members failed. In this particular instance, William Ruto in his own speech said the cabinet has failed. What is the cabinet? The cabinet is William Ruto, Rigathi Gachagua, and the others. Okay? It is not Moses Kuria as the cabinet. No. So if they have failed, let them all go. That's why we say Ruto must go. The cabinet has failed. The cabinet constitutes of or comprises of William Ruto, Rigathi Gachagua, and the other members they appointed. So they must all go. In fact, he's actually publicly affirmed that they must all go. The only difference is he's refusing to go. When he should be going also, with the rest of his failed compatriots.
There's the same person who is in charge of the lives of Kenyans here. And with ministries such as the
But in charge of the lives of
Interior.
Kenyans, he has killed 41 plus.
Okay.
For the Kenyans who are exciting. I mean, if someone has killed 41 plus of your people, so, and you're telling him to continue, then there's a problem. Then there's a problem. It's not in doubt that 41 plus people have been killed. It's not in doubt they died in the hands of police.
Okay, don't you believe that we need a total overhaul of the system, especially on the security side of
We
our
will
country?
not do piecemeal reforms in this country this time. We must bring down the entire system. And you will not be gaslit to start thinking that the problem is the police. The problem is not the police.
Okay.
The problem is the political establishment that allow those rogue people in the unit to do what they're doing. As I said, there are so many good policemen in this country. And they are serving Kenyans with diligence. So many. In fact, they're the majority. But within the unit, we have rogue elements. Rogue elements that are used and abused by the political class, the political establishment, to do the heinous acts they've been doing. So don't tell us to go and reform the police if you don't reform the politics. Reform the politics. Get rid of that system that protects those rogue officers. Get rid of William Ruto and his people. Then in the new dispensation, you can say, let's start now with the police reforms. Separate the police from civilians. Control. Let them be independent and answerable to the people of Kenya, not to the president. Give them autonomy. So that if you tell a policeman to go and shoot, he'll tell you no. Look at the United States of America. There are demonstrations every day outside the White House. Even now as I'm talking to you, there's somebody demonstrating. As I'm talking to you right now. Day and night, people are demonstrating in the White House, outside the gates. And not a single death is caused by a policeman. But here, politicians use policemen here to kill our people who are just having the right to demonstrate. So you think the problem is the police? No. The problem is the politicians.
Okay.
So deal with that problem that puts pressure on the unit and gives them political cover to commit heinous crimes against Kenyans.
So are you therefore saying that even if the president reconstitutes its cabinet, we are likely to get back to where we've been before?
We don't trust William Ruto anymore. And he can reconstitute, appoint whoever he wants to that cabinet. He will never win the trust of Kenyans. He will never gain legitimacy. He can do it. No one stops him. So we are here. He can do it. Do it even today in the morning. You will see we will still be here.
We are here, but we have a country as well.
And I've told you that country belongs to the people of Kenya. Do you know the motto of Kenya, of William Ruto's coalition? It is called Kenya Kwanza. Kenya first, not Ruto first. This time they are going to know why God gave them the name Kenya Kwanza and not Ruto first. That country is bigger than William Ruto, Rigathi Gachagua, Wetangula, and all those people in their respective political parties. The country will be great without these people. Kenya will be sovereign, and the people of Kenya will get that which they've always desired, dignified life in this community.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is it from Wakili Willie Sochino here. Of course, what is happening at Quarry area is so disheartening, and of course, we do hope that the families who've lost loved ones therein will find solace at these tragic moments. But we also do hope that changes will take place and that the lives of Kenyans will be protected. Wakili here is saying that the entire system has to come down for that to happen. Well, you can weigh in on this conversation and tell us what you think about what is taking place and what we've just had a discussion here on. Till we have this conversation again, have yourself a lovely day. My name is Evans Okinyi, and thank you for being part of this family.